Monday. Welcome to another weekly vlog. It's Isaac.
Why is it so big?
What day is it, Isaac?
My birthday.
It's Isaac's 11th birthday. He's just home from school.
I think I may know what that longer brown package is.
What?
Hold on, let me feel it.
That's cheating.
I know it is.
So Isaac didn't open his presents this morning, so he's got them to open now.
Wait, I opened them for homework.
It's up to you.
For homework.
You get any kisses today for your birthday?
Shut up. I'm going to start this side.
Are you opening those before your homework?
All of them, yes.
Right, okay. So do you like that one? He's
No,
in the midst
I'm
of...
just celebrating for no reason.
What is it?
Oculus Quest 2. I really wanted this. Like, majorly wanted this.
Good. Right, we'll still open on stuff with two things left.
It's delicious.
Happy birthday to you. Daddy said with the light on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Isaac. Happy birthday to you. Blow your candles.
This is so hard.
That's what she said.
Hello guys, I won't talk very long because sun's in my face and my throat really hurts. It's Tuesday, I'm going into my mum's as usual. As you can probably hear, I am full of cold. I've got Isaac's cold. Just the whole top teeth hurt, sinuses are bunged up, blowing my nose all day, sore throat. I don't have COVID, I do keep testing to make sure, but Isaac's friend had a really bad cold and then he had it. That's why he missed out on stuff at the weekend and wasn't at school on Friday. It's just, it leaves you feeling completely bleh. But, so I need to go into my mum's, so you can't sort of like, when you've got responsibility for like an ill parent, you can't sort of say, well, I feel like crap, I'm not going out the house. That's not an option. So, yeah, that's what's happening today. Situation in Russia continues to be extremely concerning. Children are dying now. It's so sad. I'm actually, as well as the emotion of sad, I'm like worried because Putin is that crazy that I would not put it past him bombing other countries. Scary. Darren says he's got technology that cannot be picked up with not the nuclear stuff, he's got these other things that are so fast and he, like aircraft warning things, can't pick them up. He could tell you the name of it, I can't remember. We saw enough war in this country for years through the Troubles to last a lifetime. Like, I'm so vehemently anti-war, you've no idea, I just hate it. Hate it. I just feel that in a lot of cases, young men and women are sent in just to fulfill some rich, usually middle-aged white man's ideals. He's not putting himself at risk. I mean, years ago, Keynes had to fight on the battlefield and Keynes fought and died on the battlefield. Now, people like Putin's not out there, is he? And this thing, I was just watching telly and they read out this text that a Russian soldier had sent to his mother. And it was so sad. And it was like, hold her mama. And he said, we thought they'd welcome us. They're calling us fascists. They're making us target civilians. I'm afraid, mama. This is a young man. They're throwing themselves under tanks to stop us getting forward. And the young lad that sent this text to his mother was killed shortly after he sent it. Just this young man saying, I'm afraid. And that's it, isn't it? Putin sat at his table with like 50 meters of space and everybody else crammed at the other end because he's so frightened of COVID. And the young men are going out and being told lies. You know, people all think, oh, the Russians are all arseholes. And Putin is, and a lot of people surrounding him are. But these young men, a lot of these young men that are going in have no idea. They're normal young men, and probably women. I'm not being sexist, I don't know if the army's made up of both, probably. But you know how it's quite in Russia, it's quite like behind the times and things. I have a friend whose husband is in the army. They live in England, and he's been sent over to Bulgaria to prepare to move in to Poland. She's come back home to Northern Ireland, but she doesn't want to be by herself. She's out of her tree worrying, of course she is. It's scary. Oh, but you haven't watched this to hear me talk about Russia, have you? It's supposed to, but you know me, I like to put things that are happening in the world at the time, or in that way it's not relevant, it's not my diary anymore. And as I do keep saying, this is my video diary, and it's worrying. Oh, just to tell you, I saw Cyrano last week, a few days ago. Oh my goodness, Peter Dinklage in Cyrano, his voice. Peter Dinklage has the most beautiful singing voice you've ever heard. I really enjoyed the movie. Now, obviously, the old Cyrano, Gerard Depardieu, and the original story was about a man with a massive nose. Obviously, if you've seen Roxanne with Steve Martin, and that's like a comedic angle on it, where this man is in love with a woman that he feels is unattainable. He can never get her because he has a physical ailment, as he sees it, and in the old cases, it's a big nose. Obviously, in Peter Dinklage's case, it's his height. And the woman falls in love with another man, and in order to keep the love of his life happy, Cyrano feeds the guy she loves with all this poetic language and poems and the right things to say, and makes her fall in love with this other man. And Peter Dinklage, although I thought the movie was really good, I wouldn't say I absolutely loved it, but I loved Peter Dinklage in it. He honestly, as a woman watching that, Peter Dinklage makes you fall in love with him in this movie. And the whole way through, the only thing, it's like, you're too good for her. I didn't like the character of Roxanne. I can't remember in the old movies, because it's been so long since I saw them. I can't remember if she was a nice person. I seem to remember she was. But in this, she just seemed so vapid and surface, and you know, the only thing that seemed important to her was appearance, and she overlooked this like just deep man in front of her. And you know, I'm like, why, you know, oh, someone will see you for you. You don't need to look like that. So in that case, I love Peter Dinklage being given roles where his height is nothing to do with the role. Now in this, obviously it does, but it's not played on like in other movies, like in Bruges, like Game of Thrones, like was it the Santa Claus he was in? No, Elf. But he has been in a few movies where his height is not even mentioned, and it doesn't need to be. He's a superb actor, and I want to see him do more stuff where his height is irrelevant. But he really is the most beautiful man. He's got the loveliest eyes, such lovely green eyes, and you really seem to, now obviously he's playing a character, and it's probably not Peter Dinklage, it's a character I just loved. There's just such depth from him. But yeah, Cyrano. If nothing else, watch it to hear Peter Dinklage sing. There's a song in it where the three are singing, him, Roxanne, and I can't remember the guy's name, apologies, the guy that she falls in love with that's really pretty. The three of them are singing this song together in pieces, and oh, the vocals are just beautiful. And I'm waffling again. Right, I'm gonna go because my throat hurts. And just as I'm gonna go, the sun goes in. I shall speak to you guys later.
I've been away too long to be afraid. But you know, is ready. This is when
had a park a bit higher up today at my mum's. I don't know whose that white car is in my space. Carers have just left, so my mum should be at our dinner, hopefully. Hello, it is Saturday. It's a very busy day today, which is unusual for us, so you'll actually get to see something in this week's weekly vlog. We are going to Belfast to see the Batman. I don't know, I've probably said this already, but Belfast is the only city in the UK actually allowing children. So 15A, meaning that obviously like 12A, if you're happy with your kid watching it, they can go. So I've said to Isaac, no children in England, Scotland, Wales will be able, or any other city in Northern Ireland will be able to see this. But I have really horrible feelings that Isaac's going to be bored.
We're only left 3 hours.
We shall see what happens. And then in the evening we are going to see Halestorm. This will be Isaac's first ever gig. It's a really nice venue called the Ulster Hall that's standing at the bottom, and then there's like horseshoe balcony, and we're like right at the point of the horseshoe balcony where you overlook the stage right at the front. So really good seats. Don't have to worry about having to stand, and at kids Isaac's age aren't actually allowed to stand anyway. I found that. I think if you've got children with you, it's either 13 or 14 plus have to be seated or under. So
There's only a few standing tickets left.
So yes, it shall be good. This will be the first gig that we've been to since 2020, January, Backyard Babies.
January 29th, 29th.
2020.
2020.
Yep. And before that we hadn't been to one in ages. That was Backyard Babies, which if they come here I have to go. So we shall hopefully put a little, we're also going to our favourite Chinese buffet place before we go to the
Can't
cinema.
comment, yeah. Just spoiled its room full of grower.
This is the weather where cyclists are out again.
On icy
And
roads.
it's like, there's two things when you live in the country. One of them is farming equipment.
Corning road.
The other one, why is that there?
Someone's been in there, they've kicked the corner to the road and the gate's still open.
Farming equipment travelling at 20 miles an hour in the whole 10-mile stretch of road, and you getting stuck behind it, or cyclists, and there are a lot of cyclists. Now, I know cyclists have, new rules and all that, but they can be really annoying when you're driving on a very narrow country road and you can't get past them. Like, motorists try to... Something I noticed that's different between here and the south of Ireland. In the south of Ireland, if you're stuck behind a tractor or farming equipment, they will actually wave you past. If they can see that it's, empty road and there's space to get around, they will try and pull in as far as they can and they will wave you round. They don't do that here. I don't know what the difference is. It's this thing down south though, the pace of life's very different. They're not ever in a rush for anything. When you give someone a time, it's never definite. It's like, yeah, it'll be about that. Sort of very lackadaisical, laid back way of operating. But yeah, I'm not going to talk all day. I will let you know what we thought of the Batman when we come out, and we'll try and sneak a little bit of the gig as well, and you can see that. I shall catch up with you later. We're in Belfast.
Yeah.
We're going to the cinema, which is in here, and to the Chinese, which is in there. It's very busy. Let's get onto the footpath before we get killed.
Walk fast before we die. Walk fast before we die.
Where are you, Isaac?
Chinese.
Are you too cold? So you're wearing a coat to eat your dinner? Look at that. Oh, we have to go to the counter for our tickets. Face masks. Guess who I'm waiting on, folks? At the toilets that they couldn't go to 20 minutes ago when I was going. I've now been waiting 15 minutes Oh, give me patience.
Like the numbers in there. Oh, I'm gonna get some red block chairs. Where are we at?
On the back row.
Listen, I don't want it.
Isaac, where are you going?
A gig.
Who are you going to see?
Halestorm.
Is this your first ever gig?
Yes.
You excited?
Kind of.
Kind of.
I'm nervous.
We're almost there. Isaac has just discovered the lengths of gig lines, and it's not even a big one.
Bigger the venue, bigger the queue.
This is a small venue, is it? Take that out there. I just see how big it is. It's pressed.
This is moving a lot faster than I thought it was.
Are you moving, Isaac?
Yes. Oh my god.
Right, let Daddy go first so we can find the seats.
The others are actually on there.
What a beautiful crowd we have here tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. You guys are wonderful. Isn't this such a beautiful venue?
Sunday, the last day of the week, and therefore I'm closing off the vlog. We obviously yesterday went to see the Batman. I went to the gig, and I will have 2 videos coming up on my main channel, which will be probably up before this, with a review of the gig and, well, not really a review, just Isaac's experience of his first gig, so you can see what he thought and what we thought of the Batman. I did that because Belfast is the only city in the UK where under 15s were allowed to go in, so I thought sort of approach it from a different angle from everyone else just reviewing the movie. I wanted to sort of put across to anyone that's considering taking their under 15s ticket to see it what Isaac thought of it. Now, in saying that, if Isaac behaved like some of the other kids that were in there, we would not have been best pleased. But how parents allow their kids to behave like some of them do anyway, I went into I'll tell you anyway, just in case you didn't see the other channel. We had a woman with Tourette's in our sitting, and like I said, I understand it's a horrible affliction. They cannot help having tics and shouting out and stuff. I know it's not their fault, but when you have travelled and paid money to go and see a movie that you're really excited to see, and this is happening for 3 hours, and it wasn't like swear words or short utterances, it was long wails. Go on, Darren will do it for you.
Long.
That's what it was like.
And there is a screen specifically for any kind of autisms in that cinema where they do special screenings.
They do different screenings for different conditions. I don't know what that would fall under. And I'm aware, and people say you're being horrible. I'm aware that she can't help it, but when you've paid money to hear a thing and you can't hear it because someone's screaming. And there was another thing that to me was worse. It wasn't as loud, and it was as loud, but it wasn't as long. I'm not doing it because it's minging. That thing that people do when they sniff, Darren calls it snooking, but that'll mean nothing to you. They sniff up snot really deep at the back of their throat, and then they go but really guttural, loud and full of snot noise. I can't even tell you how disgusting. So much so that every time I heard it, I couldn't help it. Oh, that's disgusting. I couldn't help it. It just was out my mouth every time. Could you hear me?
Disgusting.
Well, it was. That was awful. I hate that. Absolutely hate it. But we all really enjoyed the Batman. Isaac was really good through the whole thing. I was worried that he would fidget and he would, because it was 3 hours and it wasn't an action-filled, I'm not going to spoil anything, it wasn't an action-filled movie, it was very sort of detective-y, noir, thrillery with bits of action interspersed, but not like what you would get in a Marvel movie. It wasn't that level of action. Quite dark, quite gritty. But he really enjoyed it. Darren really enjoyed it. I only had a couple of criticisms, which I put in my review, which were basically very short version of these criticisms were I thought it was 20 minutes too long, and I thought the Catwoman could have been a stronger character than she was.
Yeah.
That was my only criticisms of the movie.
And that piece of music was too much like Imperial March.
Dun, 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 that played over and over and over. It played a lot. In saying that, I really liked the soundtrack, but that was used a bit too much, and it did sound too close to the Imperial March. But that wouldn't be enough for me to criticise. It didn't annoy me enough for it to be a criticism, but the length did drag a little bit, but that's really nitpicking. I think Dan from the Upside Down said that as well. He said if you really, really had to nitpick, he thought it was a little bit too long, didn't need it, and I would agree. And like I say, the Catwoman seemed to be very much based on appearance and, attractiveness, and she wasn't a strong enough character for me. I wanted someone edgier, grittier, with a bit more balls about them, to be quite honest. I don't like that when we give someone a compliment, it has to be like, do you ever think about it, like man up or ballsy? Every like compliment is masculine. Don't be a big girl's blouse, don't be everything that's a criticism of cowardice is a girly thing, which I don't like.
She had an expression like she'd bitch behind your back rather than kick your ass, and you needed someone that would kick your ass.
Yeah, you needed someone that put the fear of God into you, sort of thing. She didn't to me, but that's maybe just me personally. It's like I saw her in Kimmy recently, and I didn't like her in that either. And a lot of people are, big fans, and I find her really lackluster, and there's nothing that stands out about her to me. She's not, if you put, I'm just going to give one example, if you take Juliette Lewis and make her younger, and put her in the role, that would fit like the bat of a stick. That would be amazing. Because Juliette Lewis is just like, you would not mess with that woman. And that's what I wanted to see as Catwoman. Now, I have not read the comics, and somebody may correct me and say, but that's not the character, that's not the makeup of the character, so I could be completely wrong in that. I'm just talking from a viewpoint of a person watching a movie with a female, someone you're meant to look up to, like the Batman, and it just didn't have the same clout to me. But we did, saying that, I'm criticising, but I did really enjoy the movie. Then we went to the gig. Isaac really enjoyed it. He was a bit overwhelmed at how loud it was to start with. They did an acoustic set first, and I said, well, it is going to get louder than this because they haven't got their electric guitars out yet. how could it be any louder than this? He did have really good earplugs in. I had there's these earplugs, I had medium ones that cut out like half. He had like the full strong ones. But next time I think we're just going to get him ear defenders, you know, like the full. I sort of shied away from that because I didn't want them to wear something that I thought was maybe a bit childish, because none of the other kids were wearing them, but the security staff were all wearing them. So we might just get them for next time. I didn't wear mine. I did for a little bit and then I took it out and it was fine. I'll only wear it if I feel like, you know, it's giving me a headache or it's way too loud, but I was fine. I found that when I wore them, for me personally, it cut out so much of the guitar sound. You couldn't hear the lead guitars, and when you took it out, the sound was completely different. So I didn't wear mine. But yeah, he got a drumstick from the drummer, and he got 5 plectrums, 2 from the singer, 2 from the guitarist, and 1 from the bassist. So he was a very lucky boy indeed. So for his first gig, I mean, I haven't got that much. I don't think I've got. I don't even have 5 plectrums in total that I've got at gigs. Never mind
What?
1 gig. I've got.
You have 4 in that one case.
What?
You have 4 in one case. That can't be all.
What are you talking about?
That
Oh,
case
they're
upstairs.
not from concerts, or is
They're
it?
not from concerts, Isaac. The only gigs, or the only plectrums I've got from gigs, where I've got, I think I've 2. I have a Dragon one and a Nicky one. The ones I've got upstairs in a frame, I physically bought a set from the website because I'd never had a Johan one and I wanted a full set. I've got a Backyard Babies drumstick. I've actually got 2. One of them was actually Helen gave me one, didn't she? And then we got one ourselves. All right, up there. I do have a drumstick, but I've seen Backyard Babies a lot of times, so you know it took a long time to get that. And Isaac's first gig, he's got a drumstick and 5 plectrums.
I've got the whole set of them.
Yeah, so he's a lucky boy. But they were really good. They were really good with the crowd. They were, they interacted with the crowd. Some bands don't. Some bands just come on and play the tracks and off they go. You know, but this was an audience with, so I suppose they kind of had to. And they told a couple little stories. Although the drummer told jokes and they were awful, and I wish they hadn't have done that. It was just terrible.
It was kind of supposed to be bad, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
bad.
it was
just rubbish.
Yeah, it was supposed to be bad, but it was cringy bad. It wasn't like, oh, grown bad. It was obviously their way of killing time for, you know, like the way there'd be a drum solo or a guitar solo and the other members would go off for like a drink or to change or something. But no, it wasn't my cup of tea. I'd rather he sat down and told a story about growing up with music or something. Like she talked about her parents being really supportive as she was younger and going out gigging and stuff. I'd have rather heard stories like that than heard a load of jokes, to be honest with you. But yeah, successful day. Isaac was absolutely knackered when we got back, so much so he turned down McDonald's. Oh well, I might have an ice cream. Oh, but I'm too tired. So he was very tired. It was a long day yesterday. So that's it for today. Situation with Russia is getting ever more worrying by the day. I'm not going to talk at any great length about it because I'm sick listening to it, because you're like thinking, is the news making this worse than it is? And I don't mean making it worse than it is, but you know, you're starting to worry about like world war and nuclear war, and now they're saying that Putin might have cancer and he might know he's dying and he's going to take the world with him, sort of thing. And that's terrifying. So, you know, I don't know. You know, there's been plenty of wars in our lifetime fought, you know, in other countries. So my mind's asking me, why is this one so much more worrying than any of the others? Is it because of Russia's capabilities? I'm not entirely sure. But either way, it's a bit concerning. But that is what's going on in the world today with us. And yeah, we're just going to my mum's for a couple of hours, then we're going home to have Chinese. Yes, 2 days in a row, because we always have Chinese on Sunday night, and yesterday was just an exception because we were having a day out. So yeah, I shall catch up with you guys next week.